I'm going to start with the eyes today, and for today's party wear look, I'm going to use Modern Renaissance by Anastasia. So the reason I like this palette is because it has a lot of beautiful brownish maroon colors that go really well for my skin tone, and also some really light, nice shimmers. So you can actually use this palette both for a daytime and an evening party wear look to achieve a light smoky eye if you want. Today I will combine this with Honey, which is another palette by ColorPop, and you can see it has a lot of beautiful shimmery golds. One tip I have is rather than going with really bright yellow golds, I always stick to the bronzy golds, so much more subtle, but you can get the same effect. I'm going to use Burnt Orange, which is this nice crease shade. So take a little bit, dust off any extra. I'm going to start at the outer edge corner of my lid, or the crease, and I always start by packing the color there and then working it in a windshield movement. For the lid, I'm going to use a combination of this Venetian red with antique bronze, and it's a nice shimmery bronze, which will also give you a subtle smoky eye. So with the smoky eye, what I usually do is take the same colors that I've used on the lid and work it under my eye as well. So I'm going to start with this Queen Bee, which is this bronzy gold, pack it on my brush, and then just work it into the center of the lid. So you can see it's pretty bright, but it also blends in with the base colors that you already have on your lid. An optional step here is to also use a lighter shade right under this brow. Okay, so I'm just gonna use from the Anastasia palette, Primavera, which is a really light shade that I can use to add some shimmer right under your brow. And what it does is it makes your whole eye just pop. I'm going to use that same shimmer, also work it into the inner corner of the eye, right there. With the smoky eye, I also recommend using tight lining, for which you want to use dark black. So this is Pitch Black by Benefit in the series Bad Gal Bang, which is also the mascara I use. And what tight lining is, you're going to take this pencil and just line your inner lids. With the smoky eye look, I'm going to use a winged liner. So I'm going to use this liquid liner by Benefit, which has this really nice long tip and will give you a really neat, clean wing. So for the wing, one tip is not to start at this corner of your eye and work your way up. That will change the angle of the wing. What you want to do is start by pointing the brush to this crease corner right here, the same spot where you started your eyeshadow, and work it towards your lid. Now, work that wing in towards the center of your lid. Okay. Now go back to the inner corner of the eye. Try and stay as close to the lid line as possible. I'm going to move on to the rest of my face, finish it out, and then come back and take care of the false lashes. So for under my eye, I'm going to go with this eraser by Maybelline again. But I'm also going to go use a darker shade for some light contouring. Start by Applying a generous amount this time under your eyes. Since this is evening wear, you do want it to last longer, and this will also help with the contouring. I'm going to also try some on my forehead. Work it all the way to the tip of my nose and around my mouth, a little bit on my chin. Now, for the contouring, similar to a powder, work your way in under your cheekbone towards your mouth. And this is a very subtle color, so it's not going to be very stark. But it will give your face some nice dimension. I'm also going to work it under my chin and the side of my nose. So from under your brow, just a little bit on the sides. You don't want too much because you don't want it to turn out like dance makeup. So for under the eye, I'm going to go for this contouring brush and just kind of work it in. For the darker color, I'm going to use a different brush, also pretty dense. Next is a setting powder, and I'm using my same setting powder by Rihanna's brand, Fenty. I'm going to use a really soft brush and make sure I don't take extra product, and start working this into the areas where you use a lighter shade of concealer. For the areas we contoured, I'm going to go in the bronzer. This is a bronzer by Sephora in the shade Amalfi. And this time I'm using a slightly flatter brush to give it more definition. I'm going to take very little and again work my sides of the nose, giving it a little bit more definition. One of my favorite brands is the line called Becca, but unfortunately they're going out of business, I think. But anyway, for the highlighter, I highly recommend their Champagne Pop. Stays true to the name and really does pop. So you need very little. Start with the higher end of your cheekbone. You can see, oh my gosh, this is like so beautiful. The other areas I use highlight are my nose and right above my lip. So with today's bronzy kind of look, a blush is truly optional. But I wanted to show you this liquid blush by NARS, and it's in the shade Torrid. So you just need very little onto my finger, just, I don't know if you can see that, just super little. And work your way from the cheek, there you go, up. Take a fairly dense brush like this and start to work that in. Today I was asked to go with red lips, so I'm going to go with my favorite liner by MAC in the color Ruby Woo. Red lipsticks, there are so many options out there. One of the most popular ones by MAC is this Ruby Woo lipstick, which is the same liner that I used. And you can see it's a very deep, velvety red. I personally prefer a much more brick red or maroon type of option. This is by NARS and it's in the shade Power Trip. And this is by Rare Beauty and it's in the shade Transform. I'm going to start with the NARS, which is the much more deeper red, or brick red. And I do love the texture on this one. It's very smooth and velvety. Love it. So you can certainly stay with this, but I want to go just a little bit darker. So I'm going to add on some Transform. For lashes, I used to generally hate wearing fake lashes, so I always stuck to mascara as much as I could. I still do, but I do like the Pro Magnetic lashes from Eyelure because it's so easy to use. It comes with this liquid magnetic liner that you can just use above your lid, and I would not recommend substituting this for your actual black liner. No, just stick to a black liner for that. But then put this on and stick on your lashes. So I'm going to start with the liquid magnetic liner and just start about halfway, because one of the things about lashes is you don't need your fake lashes to go all the way in. All right, so I've let the liner dry out a bit, and I'm going to go in with these fakies. So you just want to place it right where you had that liquid liner. So I finished out the look with some beautiful jewelry from Temple Jewelry USA, based out of Seattle. And I'm gonna stay with this kind of messy braid look, and I hope you liked this makeover session with me. If you did, please do subscribe to my channel and leave your comments and feedback. I would love to hear from you.